Have you ever struggled to explain your career path? Does it have a few twists and turns and maybe some chapters that don't seem to connect? Well, if that's you, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to tear down the old idea of a straight-line career and explore a much more powerful way to think about success.
I mean, really think about it. When someone at a party asks, "So, what do you do?" Can you fire back a simple one-sentence answer? Or is it more like, well, it's kind of complicated. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, then you're going to want to stick around for this.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? That feeling of being hard to place isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's not a sign that you're failing or that you're confused. It's actually a sign of a modern, dynamic career that the old rulebook just, well, it can't keep up anymore. You know the story we were all told. It's like this one-lane highway. You pick your lane, doctor, lawyer, engineer, whatever, and you just climb that ladder nice and steady for the next 40 years. That was supposed to be the safe, smart bet. But let's be honest, the world has changed, and the whole nature of work has changed right along with it.
So how do we start to make sense of these winding, nonlinear career paths? It all starts with a new word. Or maybe it's just a new name for a type of person who is becoming more and more valuable in today's world.
Okay, so what is a multipotentialite? It's someone who has this deep curiosity, intellectually or creatively, that spans across a bunch of different fields. And here's the key. This isn't about being a dabbler who just scratches the surface. It's about having the ability to actually go deep and get really good at several different things.
This is such a critical distinction. The specialist model is all about depth in one single area. That's our one-lane highway. The multipotentiality model, though, is about building depth across multiple domains. It creates this incredibly broad and versatile foundation of expertise.
And this isn't just a different way to work. It comes with some serious advantages. Honestly, you can think of them as superpowers. Idea synthesis? That's connecting dots nobody else even sees. Rapid learning and adaptability? Those are your secret weapons in a world that changes by the minute. And you've got this amazing talent for translating between different kinds of experts, which is absolutely essential for solving really complex problems. So you might be thinking, okay, great, I have these traits, but how do I actually build a career? Is my resume doomed to look like a chaotic mess? Not at all. In fact, there's a really powerful framework that helps you give structure to this whole nonlinear path. It's called an M-shaped career. And the most important word here is phases. You are not starting from scratch every single time. The idea is you go deep in one field, building up one pillar of that M. Then you make a very intentional pivot, and you build deep expertise in a totally different area. That becomes your second pillar. And over time, those pillars start to connect in really powerful ways.
Let me just say that again, because it's so important. An M-shaped path is not random. It's not just bouncing around from interest to interest. It is a deliberate, strategic architecture for your career. It's built on the idea that your real value comes from the unique combination of all your skills.
And honestly, this model could not be more perfect for the world we live in right now. I mean, roles aren't guaranteed for life anymore. The biggest problems we're facing demand thinking that cuts across different disciplines. And with AI automating a lot of narrow tasks, our most human skills like creativity and synthesis are becoming more valuable than ever. Reskilling isn't a sign you failed, it's just a core part of growth now.
All right, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great for me as an individual, but is there any bigger proof that this pattern actually works? Well, you're going to love this. The answer comes from a very surprising place: the world of giant multinational corporations.
It sounds like a strange question, right? What could we possibly learn from them? But it turns out, researchers in international business have been studying a really similar pattern for decades.
So here's the deal. When a big company tries to expand into new countries all over the world, its performance doesn't just go straight up. It follows this predictable, non-linear curve as it juggles all the costs and benefits of that global expansion. One theory is called the S-shaped hypothesis. At first, performance might actually dip a little bit because of all the upfront learning costs. Then, boom, it shoots up as the company figures things out. But eventually it can flatten out or even start to decline because managing a massive global operation just gets too complicated. And now, here is another model that should look a little familiar. It is literally called the M-shaped hypothesis of firm performance, and it describes this four-stage process of growth, then decline, and then growth again. Sound familiar? And this is the absolute key. Look at both of these models. You see that shared pattern? It's this inverted U-shape. After a period of really successful growth in one direction, performance hits a peak,
and then it starts to go down. That tells us something so important. More isn't always better.
I mean, how powerful is that? The big takeaway is that just like a massive corporation, if you focus on endless growth in a single direction in your own career, you can eventually hit a point of diminishing returns. You can become too specialized, too rigid, and way less adaptable. Okay, so let's put all these pieces together and build this new architecture for success.
Think of your career as your own personal company, you incorporated. Suddenly, it all clicks. The lesson from those corporate graphs is that you have to be adaptable to stay resilient long-term. Your multipotentialite superpower of idea synthesis, that's how your company creates its unique value in the market. And rapid learning, that's your R&D department, your research and development, constantly preparing you for your next big strategic move.
So, let's just be really clear. Having a career that doesn't fit neatly into a box is not a flaw. An M-shaped path is not a sign of confusion. It is a smart, effective, strategic response to a world that is demanding that we be more adaptable, more creative, and have a broader perspective.
It's pretty obvious that the one-lane highway is an old, outdated map. It just won't get you where you need to go in the modern world of work. So the real question isn't about whether your path is straight or not. The real question is, what shape is your career taking and where are you going to build the next pillar of your M?